Kayak Company budgeted the following cash receipts and cash disbursements for the first 3 months of next year. So they got January, February, and March cash receipts, cash disbursements of January, February, and March. According to a credit agreement with the company's bank, Kayak promises to have a minimum cash balance of $30,000 at each month end. In return, the bank has agreed that the company can borrow up to $160,000 at an annual interest rate of 12%, paid on the last day of each month. Interest is computed based on the beginning balance of the loan for the month. The company has a cash balance of $30,000 and a loan balance of $60,000 at January 1st. Prepare monthly cash budgets for each of the first 3 months of next year. Negative amounts should be indicated by a minus sign, leaving no cells blank. Be certain to enter 0 wherever required. Omit dollar signs in your responses. So we'll start with the beginning cash balance that they had in January, which was $30,000, according to this right here. And we will have cash receipts that we have in January of $524,000. Add these two pieces together to get total cash available of $554,000. And next we'll go to a cash disbursements section here of $483,000. So that's what we had cash disbursements of in January, $483,000. And then interest expense will be $600, and that's based on the $60,000 loan that we had as of January. Let's see, our loan balance as of January the 1st was $60,000, and their interest rate is going to be 12%, or you could say 1% per month, and that comes out to a $600 amount per month of interest expense, which is where we got that $600 from. So this cash available minus the cash disbursements minus the interest will give us a preliminary cash balance of $70,400. And then we have to ask the question, do we have any additional money that we want to borrow from the bank? And let's see, it says we have to have a minimum cash balance of $30,000 on hand at the end of each month, and we've got right now a cash balance of $70,400, so the answer there is 0. And we can repay everything that we have there in our balance as long as our balance doesn't get below, let's see, what is it again, of $30,000. So we can repay how much? Cash balance we have right now is $70,400. We got to have a minimum balance of $30,000, so we can repay $40,600. And remember, we had a $60,000 loan there, so we can repay that much, $40,400. Our ending cash balance will be right there at the minimum, which is $30,000, and our ending loan balance will be the $60,000 loan we had minus what we paid back, or $19,600. So now we're finished with January. We'll start off February with our beginning cash balance, which is the same as our ending cash balance for January. So that'll be beginning cash balance of $30,000. Our cash receipts for February will be $410,000. This gives us total cash available, adding these two together, of $440,000, minus our cash disbursements in February, which are $348,000. And then we'll have an interest calculation to make. It'll be the $19,600 loan balance we had from before times 12% per year, or you can say the same thing as 1% per month, and this gives us an interest expense of $196,000. Our preliminary cash balance, when we take what we had available minus our cash disbursements minus our interest expense, will give us a preliminary cash balance of $91,804. And let's see, we have got $91,804. So we could pay back the rest of our loan here. We don't have to borrow anything additionally, so that's a 0 in that spot. Repayment will be had a cash balance of $91,804. We got to keep a minimum cash balance of $30,000. We could repay $61,804, but we don't have that much borrowed. We've only got $19,600 as a loan, so that's how much we're going to pay back. So we'll put in here the payback of $19,600. This gives us an ending cash balance of the $91,804 minus the $19,600, or a $72,204 cash balance at the end of February. Have an ending loan balance, since we paid it all off, of 0. Now we're ready to go into March. In March, we have a beginning cash balance, which is the same as our ending cash balance for February, of $72,204. We have cash receipts in March of $478. Gives us cash available, these two added together, of $550,204. We have cash disbursements in March of $530. And just kind of think of it, you may have to put minus signs right here. I'm not sure, but I'm sure you'll see how it works out when you do the problem. But that's a $530,000 there that we got to subtract for cash disbursements in March. Interest expense, since we have no loan, we don't have any interest expense. That'll be 0. Our preliminary cash balance will be the cash we had available minus the cash disbursements minus any interest expense, which would be 0, to give us a preliminary cash balance of $20,204. And now we are below what our minimum cash balance has to be, which has to be $30,000. So we're below that. So we got to borrow. Looks like $22,004 is what we have. Minimum's got to be $30,000. So we've got to borrow $97,96. So we borrow that. Repay bank loan? No. Put a 0 there because we just now took the loan out and we can't go below that minimum, $30,000. Our ending cash balance is going to be these two together, which would be $30,000. And our ending loan balance will be the $97,96. It looks like we're finished.